Hey guys, Bryan Buhr with Berkshire Hathaway, and welcome to this edition of What Am I Signing? This is 1 year's worth of real estate transactions, a lot of paper. And with more and more forms being signed electronically, people need the opportunity to really learn about what they're signing. So hopefully these videos help. Let's get into today's form. So last time we talked about sellers' property disclosures. So this month I actually want to talk about seller disclosure alternatives. So Minnesota normally has a nice, long, thick packet of seller disclosure forms. That's about 12 pages. But if a seller can't fill those out, there is these disclosure alternative forms. So what would be a situation where a seller couldn't fill it out? Well, say it's an estate and the actual executor of the estate has never lived in the property. Well, it doesn't make sense for them to fill out the seller disclosure forms because they don't know too much about the house. So on the first page, there's just a couple options. You can either select option 1, and that's to have a qualified third-party inspection. And honestly, that's probably what I recommend if there's a property that you don't know that much about that you're trying to sell. Just hire a home inspector and have them do their inspection beforehand. They'll note all the defects with the house. You have those already available to a buyer. You can price your house according to the defects that you found, and then the buyer kind of knows what they're getting into. So it just saves a lot of issues instead of having a buyer make an offer, then they do their inspection, find a bunch of things that no one knew about, and now you're renegotiating and everyone's kind of having issues. The other option is a waiver. So it's basically saying, I don't know anything about the property. It is going to give you, the rest of these pages though are going to need to be filled out just to get the bare minimum required statutes completed to sell a house in Minnesota. So these are very basic questions. You know, is there a septic on the property? Is there a well on the property? Most of that info you can look up even if you don't know it. If you need help looking it up, feel free to give me a call. I can kind of direct you of what websites work best for that. You know, has radon been tested on the property? You know, stuff like that. So these forms are a very good tool to use. Like I said, if it's a situation where the person selling the property doesn't know very much about the house, don't use this as a way to just not have to fill things out, because realistically, a buyer is going to see that it's disclosure alternatives, kind of come in with a little feeling in their mind like, hey, maybe this is a situation where I can get a good deal. So if you're in a position where you can fill out the full disclosures, absolutely do that. If you're in a position where you're not comfortable asking those questions, that's where these disclosure alternative forms do come in. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any specific questions, feel free to give me a call, 218-850-2004. Thanks.